I get to wear my big comfy jumper again. Yay! Hi, I'm Eric from Lonesome Reader. Like everybody else on BookTube and all the most sensible people in the world, I love autumn. I'm not a big summer fan. You know, there's all this stupid pressure to like put on a bikini and go sit on a dirty beach, and nobody wants to see me in a bikini. It's really not a pretty sight. I've been wondering if I should do an autumn-related reading thing, and at just the right moment, Mercedes at Mercy's Bookish Musings posted a video with an Autumn Readathon challenge. I'll link her video below and list all her prompts if it's something you might want to join in too. So the timings for this readathon worked out really well for me because it's starting on Sunday, October 22nd, and it runs to October 28th. So it'll be after the Booker Prize and before another reading project that I want to do in November. I've never actually done a readathon before, and I don't do well with assigned reading, even if it's reading that I assign to myself. Like, I always get rebellious and think like, no, I want to read this instead. But we'll see how it goes. But I do love making a reading list, and I'll film a vlog during the week to see how I get along and how many of the books that I actually get through. Fun experiment! So there are 4 prompts with 2 bonus prompts. First, read a gothic or spooky book. See What I've Done by Sarah Schmidt. This is a book that was published in May, but I've actually been saving it for the autumn because what more perfect book could there be than a creepy story like this? A fictional account of the case of Lizzie Borden, who over 100 years ago was accused of chopping her parents up with an axe in Massachusetts. Murder, intrigue, bring it on. Prompt 2. Read a nonfiction book that feels autumnal. Nature writing or cold location travel writing or memoir. So for this I've chosen The Fact of a Body by Alexandria Marzano-Lesnevich. And this is a book that I've been wanting to get to so much based on personal recommendations. Like, not just lovely booktube folk, but people I actually know in real life. It's the story of a child murderer, and in the course of investigating the case, the author recounts her own experiences as a victim of child abuse. It sounds harrowing, and I've been told it's really powerfully written. Prompt 3. Read a novel set in a cold location. Strange Beating Heart by Goldstone. I believe this novel fits the bill because I believe it's set in Latvia, where I've never been to, even though I have like Latvian heritage. I'm part Latvian and I have family there, but I've never been there. But I've been told it's quite cold. It's the story of a woman who was killed by a swan, and her husband tries to find out what was really going on in her life. Also, apparently, the author Goldstone has a tattoo on one of her arms with a gravestone on it that reads "Bad Times." I mean, you can't get more like badass in Halloween than that, can you? Prompt 4. Read a historical fiction novel. So I've chosen The Revolution of the Moon by Andrea Camilleri. I got this earlier this year and I keep meaning to get to it because the novel is based on the true story of Eleonora de Mauro, who in 1677 inherited the position of Viceroy of Sicily. She was a progressive who tried to implement changes in terms of women's health care and dealing with poverty, but of course in her time period she came across a lot of misogyny and conservatism, so her reign actually lasted only 27 days, which is the cycle of a moon, hence the title The Revolution of the Moon. It sounds amazing. Bonus prompts! Prompt 5. Read a short story collection. And I actually have 2, so I'm sort of cheating. Like, well, one of them I'm kind of cheating with. So first there's Madame Zero by Sarah Hall, and she's a really interesting British writer. A long time ago I saw her read a short story from this called Mrs. Fox, which won the BBC National Short Story Competition. These are tales of sexuality, motherhood, and our animal natures told in like a range of different styles, from like a sci-fi dystopia to more fantastical tales of metamorphosis. It sounds wild, and I want to read more by her. The short story collection Dismember by Joyce Carol Oates, and this is a cheat because I've actually already read this book earlier this summer, but when it was published in June, and I didn't get around to writing a full written review of it. So I've been wanting to go back and reread some of the short stories so I can write a full review of it. And also it just seems like so perfect. I mean, look at the cover. It's just like such an autumn read. And many of these are very creepy stories with lots of gothic, disturbing things happening. Prompt 6. read an adult novel with a young female protagonist. So for this, I chose a book, Such Small Hands, by Andreas Barba. I just bought this book really recently on the UK Bookshop Day. It's published by Portobello Books, and the photo on the cover is actually by Max Porter, who wrote Grief is the Thing with Feathers. It also has an afterword by Edmund White, and the author Sarah Perry, who wrote The Essex Serpent, calls it as effective a ghost story as any I have read. Lots of literary links already. This is a Spanish novella about a 7-year-old girl who's taken to an orphanage after both her parents die in an accident. I don't know any more about it, and I don't want to know any more about it. I just want to read it and experience it. So those are the books that I'm excited to get to. Let me know if you're going to be participating in the Autumn Readathon too, and what you're going to read, or just what books that you think make really great autumn reads. Thanks for watching. Now let's all go outside and kick through some leaves and stock up on lots of hot chocolate. I'll speak to you again soon. Happy reading, everyone.